Stanford University.
Welcome to Stanford Medicine's 10th Annual Contemplation by Design Summit. I'm Dr. Tia Rich, founder and director of Contemplation by Design. It's my delight to introduce you to our next speaker, Elysabeth Williamson. Elysabeth will be speaking to us today about Back-to-Back Sacrum Connection, a specific practice in partner yoga. Elysabeth has been a teacher of yoga and transformation for over 35 years. She is the author of The Pleasures and Principles of Partner Yoga and is internationally recognized as the foremost presenter of partner yoga practices. As founder of Principle-Based Partner Yoga, a visionary art that expands the traditional practice of yoga into the realm of relationship, Elysabeth has trained teachers around the world. She presents international workshops and retreats and is known for facilitating a quality of space that leads to life-changing experience. In this time of accelerated change, Elysabeth sees the ancient science of yoga combined with practical education in relational and emotional resiliency as important skills for resolving the challenges we face. Elysabeth is currently working on her second book entitled Becoming Fully Human: How Learning to Feel Saved My Life. We're so grateful to you, Elysabeth, for the interactive workshop that you provided yesterday and the illuminating conversation that gave us an introduction to your partner yoga system. And we're grateful to be with you today for this guided practice period.
Hello, Tia. I'm so happy to be here with you. Well, I'd like to begin with introducing my new partner that I have here today. Her name is Ninaya. I'll let her introduce herself and share her experience with partner yoga. Just a few words.
Thank you. My name is Ninaya. I'm a holistic health practitioner, and I have been a student of Elysabeth's amazing process. And I love to implement it with my clients and with my family, with my partner, and I can with my teams. It's wonderful. I'm so blessed to be here. Thank you.
Nice. So I thought I would begin with talking about the sacrum a bit, and actually reading a brief piece from the manual to just get everybody inspired about this connection and what's possible with it. So the title of this piece is called The Subtle Anatomy of the Sacrum, the Holy Bone. Sacrum comes from the Latin sacra, meaning sacred, because the sacrum was considered a highly valued and holy bone. Specifically, it was believed that the sacrum could not be destroyed and that it was the part of the body that would allow someone to rise from the dead. The Greeks called it hieron ostion, which not only means sacred, but also temple. It is a temple in the sense that the sacrum creates the dorsal wall of the pelvis, protecting the genitalia, the organs of creation. It was also considered sacred by the Greeks because of the belief that the soul resided in the sacrum. The Romans called the bone os sacrum, which literally means holy bone. The sacrum is the last bone in the body to decompose. Therefore, it was believed that someone could be reassembled in the afterlife from its remains. In the yogic tradition, the sacrum is said to be where the Kundalini serpent lies sleeping dormant, waiting for the force of prana to awaken it from its slumber and cause it to rise up to the higher center of consciousness. From the anatomical perspective, the sacrum is considered the keystone bone in the body. In this context, the keystone acts as the central bone that holds the whole structure together. With this understanding, and from the sacrum's auspicious history, we can summarize that the sacrum is an important root, a special seat of power from which we can learn to consciously connect. The sacrum plays a very important role in the practice of partner yoga. It acts as the foundational connection between partners and is the conduit for energy transfer. The quality of energy that is generated is dependent upon the way the sacra align with one another. Although the sacrum is unique in each body, it is interesting to note that it is noticeably different in males and females. In the female, the sacrum is shorter and wider than in the male, and this relates to the difference in the pelvic bone anatomy. Experiments in partner yoga have revealed that the energy is calming and grounding when sacra align in the same direction, such as in the back-to-back seated meditation that we'll be doing. The energy becomes more stimulating and activating when the sacra align in the opposite direction, such as in prone sacral connection or standing sacral connection. So those are a little more advanced practices to explore how that connection, the energetic response to connecting, instead of connecting the bones like this, they connect like that. So yeah, I just wanted to start with that. And then I wanted to also read a piece from my book, because the meditation we will be doing after we connect and get all the physical alignment components engaged, I'm going to guide us through a meditation, an elemental meditation. So I read just a quote the other night in our talk in the grounding chapter, but I want to read a little bit more, and I'd love who's ever listening to receive it as kind of a preliminary meditation to support you to get the most out of our guided practice today. So it goes like this. We are the bridges between earth and sky. We are spirit embodied through the elements of the earth. Grounding is our capacity to fully inhabit our physical body, allowing the intelligence of each cell to awaken to its full health and radiance. Awareness can then come through the entire being rather than the mind alone. Grounded embodiment allows our life force to flow freely, uninhibited and unobstructed. Partner yoga is a valuable tool for finding our way back to this profound state of being and the peace inherent in it. Why do we abandon this natural state? For most of us, it is a result of being conditioned to believe that it is unsafe to be present in our bodies. We fear we will be hurt, either physically or emotionally, and we learn to protect ourselves by disassociating from our body. Often, we approach the body as an object to be controlled. Even our physical practices become a way we deny rather than appreciate the body. When we approach our bodies without a sense of reverence, we are unable to experience the connection that leads to grounded embodiment. Culturally, we are encouraged to identify ourselves primarily through our thoughts and intellectual processes, rather than through our sensory and feeling experiences. It is often our fear of being engulfed by our emotions that prevents us from experiencing them directly. Yet, when we cut off or deny any emotion, we are cutting off our potential for being fully alive. So much of our life force remains buried with our unexpressed feelings. As we open to and appreciate our body and our emotions, we no longer need to fear or try to control even our most intense emotions. Instead, we can see them as the energy in motion that they are, and allies to self-understanding. Learning to respect our emotions as the powerful energy source they are develops our emotional intelligence. As we learn to take responsibility for our emotions, we are no longer compelled to act them out in ways that are destructive to ourselves or others. Partner yoga provides the safety and containment that enables repressed emotions to be released. This release can be experienced simply as trapped energy beginning to move without the need for any story or memory attached. In partner yoga practices, we support each other to stay present with whatever our emotional truth is. It is through facing and feeling whatever is present and true for us that we unblock the energy needed to fulfill our visions and dreams. Grounded embodiment leads to greater sensitivity within and without. Partner yoga teaches us how to sense and connect with the subtle energies around us. We learn how to be supported by the force of gravity. By consciously rooting our body to the pull of gravity, we align our energy with the energy of the earth. We realize as we support each other in a posture that it is our alignment with life force, not our individual strength, on which we are relying. To be grounded is to feel held by life. We sense and honor our connection to one another and to the earth. Partner yoga offers a way to return to our human home, to the embodiment and the serenity and the ecstasy that embodiment offers. So hopefully that inspired a bit of inspiration for our practice. And as I said yesterday, we don't need a partner to do it. It's ideal to have a partner, but we can learn to connect the sacrum to a wall. And we also brought this bench in, and I'm going to begin by demonstrating if you have a knee or hip issue, then you can use a bench or even two chairs. So Naya, you want to come up here? And just the same way we'll be connecting sacrums from the ground. We're really looking for that solid connection. So what we do is we lean forward, we get a little arch in the lumbar spine, and then we shift our hips back, aiming for our partner's tailbone and sit bones. We really want to get at the very base. And then we slowly sit up And if you don't have a partner that you're working with today, you would just do that same process with a wall. And then once you're up in the posture, you want to you want the main connection to be in that sacrum. And there's a few things that can help support that. The first one being just drawing the lower belly ever so slightly in. And that just helps to connect the full length and width of the sacrum. The upper body is not even touching. And if you don't have this upper body openness that Ninaya and I have, then you just want to lean forward a little bit. And then over the course of the meditation, you might find yourself leaning on your partner. If that's the case, just tap, or they can tap you, which will be a signal to just lean forward and not lean on our partner. So as I spoke about yesterday, this is a beautiful metaphor for how we can connect and support without leaning and pushing. Okay, so from there, we're going to come down, and I'm also going to demonstrate if you have a knee. So Ninaya, we're going to sit in a bit of a diagonal so my voice will be able to be clearly heard. Good. So if you have knee issues and it's difficult for your knees to relax down, I suggest using blocks or pillows under just to support that. You want to have both bodies on the same plane. So if you want to have a little lift under your pelvis, then you would both be lifted. Because what we're seeking here is that solid connection between sacrums. So again, we're going to go through that process of leaning forward, getting a little arch in the lumbar, and then scooting back till you really feel your partner's bones. Yeah, you can lift the gluteal muscles back, rotate the inner thighs in. That can be very helpful. And then you come up and you just feel this beautiful, solid, powerful, strong connection between sacrums. Okay, so here we are. Hopefully everyone who's watching has established a solid, firm connection, either with a wall, with a chair, or a partner. Ideally with a partner, because that is really where we have the opportunity to just feel this deeply grounding support. And it also provides a sense of comfort. And one of the other things that I wanted to mention up front was to recognize how when we sit back to back in this way, we are really connecting from a transpersonal or universal place. So even though it's a deeply intimate connection, there's also a deeply transpersonal quality to it, which is quite the opposite of when we are relating face to face. When we relate face to face, it's persona to persona. When we relate back to back, it's essence to essence. So we'll begin with some deep letting go breaths. As you begin to connect with the breath, also begin to sense your partner's breath. So it is through the breath that we are truly connected to all beings. We all inhale and exhale the same air. So we're going to do a little breathing exercise that will emphasize that point. So it might take a few rounds of breath to feel this with your partner, but what you want to do is, I'm going to inhale as Ninaya exhales. So this is kind of a yin-yang breath. So I'm going to take a deep inhalation. And then as I exhale, Ninaya inhales. You might want to make your breath audible so you can feel and hear your partner's breath. And as you do this, you might notice your spine naturally creating a little wave. So as you exhale, the spine rounds. As you inhale, the spine lifts. And this gentle movement will deepen the connection and start raising that energy from the root. So a few more rounds of breath. And then just sitting quietly, noticing. And then I'm going to take us through a guided meditation that brings in the elemental nature of our body. We are, just like in the grounding essay, composed of the elements of the earth. And the body is a microcosm of the macrocosm. So I invite you to just follow my words, and as you bring your awareness through the inner body, and let the connection to the elemental energy also deeply relax the physical body and the boundaries of the body. So we'll begin with the root. It's bringing our breath and our awareness, directing it to all the parts of the body that are contacting the ground. Contacting the chair, the mat. Begin to allow the sense of boundary soften. And then visualize sending your awareness into the earth. Visualize perhaps your sit bones pointing and moving downward into the stability and the solidity of the earth. And then upon the earth lays the water into the second energy set area. Bring our attention. Feel the lower belly connected to our sacrum, to our partner. We sense the fluid systems in the body. Sensing the water element in the second center and throughout. We relax through the abdomen, sensing all the digestive organs relaxing. As we bring our attention to the fire element in the body, the solar plexus, our capacity to transform, to digest our food, our emotions, our experience. It's taking some time to really feel the energy in the solar plexus, the subtle movement of the diaphragm, and then bringing the awareness up into the chest, feeling the lungs and heart center, and tuning into the elemental energy of air. And our breath, our partner's breath, as we tune into the heart, the chest, to allow any holding in the shoulders and arms to soften and release. Feel an opening across the upper chest into the base of the throat and neck. And then we feel into the jaw, deeply unhinging the jaw, softening the tongue, allowing all the sense organs to relax and soften. And as we relax the mouth, the ears, the jaw, the nose, the sinuses, the eyes, we bring our awareness into the third eye center, connecting now with the subtle element of ether or space. We allow the eyes to be gently drawn back towards the center of the brain. We feel the cranium bones and the brain itself relax. And then bringing our awareness up just above the crown of the head. We imagine or sense a magnetic pull upward. And we feel these equal and opposite energies, how the shoulders and hips draw downward with the pull of gravity. And the sternum, the heart center, and the crown respond and extend upward with no effort, just a natural, energetic response. Allowing the body to be completely held with no effort. We visualize and imagine our energy going up through the ceiling into the sky. Beyond the blue of the sky. And however you can imagine going all the way into the galactic center. Feeling a sense of expansion. Feeling how your crown relates to the cosmos. And then imagine drawing the cosmic celestial energy into the crown, visualizing light pouring through the body. And then allow yourself to simply rest in whatever part of your being feels most restful. And we will just share this connected silent space together. Now we'll begin to slowly deepen our breath, bringing our awareness back to this time and space. And very slowly, staying connected to your partner's sacrum as much as possible. Just release one leg at a time slowly forward. Legs can be straight, together, opened part way, whatever they naturally want to do. We're going to do a very gentle release, forward, backward. So we'll begin with Naya relaxing her head onto my back. And once I feel her head, I'm going to move very slowly, so slowly, so that her nervous system stays calm. I'm just going to come forward to whatever degree feels good. And I might move a little bit, just relaxing. As we demonstrated yesterday, you might want to have some blocks in front of you or to support your partner's head. Just take a few breaths there, feeling that openness across your chest or the release in your hips and legs. Those of you that are back bending, I invite you to just press your head into your partner's back and just roll it a little bit from side to side. You can let your arms relax by your sides if that feels good. The person in forward fold, you can shift to one side. And the other side. And then you might notice from shifting that you're just naturally falling deeper into your stretch. And then very slowly coming up, take a breath at center, and then shift rolls. You can keep your legs bent like Ninaya is, or keep them extended, whatever feels good for you. And just notice what is a very simple form or posture. Supported back bend, supported forward bend. And just notice how having our partner just deepens the experience. I'm going to roll my head. Ninaya can shift from one onto one hip and just fold her torso over one hip. And as she goes over one side, I'm going to lean the opposite side. And as she goes to the other hip, I shift and turn. And then just take a few more breaths, feeling the support, feeling the connection, feeling the body just releasing through this sense of compassionate contact. Our nervous system receives the message to unwind, to release. And then the partner that's in forward fold, slowly come up. Partner who's being lifted, you can support your neck a little bit. Sometimes that's really nice to do. And taking a few last breaths in this spine to spine, intimate connection. It's feeling gratitude for your partner, appreciation, feeling our shared humanity and our shared spirit. And then moving as slowly as possible with as much awareness, eyes softly closed or gazing down. We are going to come facing our partner with eyes closed or down, sitting knee to knee. If you have a knee issue, one leg can extend or both. Moving slowly, just really feel the transition. As you feel yourself seated, just notice. Notice how this connection feels different. Let your awareness rest and center in the heart area. And in a moment, we're going to practice seeing and being seen, seeing other as self. So as you're ready, slowly opening your eyes. Allowing the gaze to be soft. And just notice where you're naturally drawn. I like to look at the center between the eyebrows. If it feels awkward, if you feel, sometimes people feel a giggle coming on, and that's fine. If you feel just a silent, sweet connection, or if you just want to feel your partner, you can close your eyes. Just still being aware of your entire body, the back body, front body, the space around you. Let's bring our right palm onto our sternum. And let's bring our left palm on top of our partner's palm. And then just softly closing the eyes, resting the hands. And then as you're ready, opening the eyes. I'm going to do a brief active listening practice. Just checking in with our partner. It's really helpful to share what your experience is. It really helps integrate, and it helps us feel our shared humanity and also deepens the connection. So I'll begin with listening, and I'll just invite Ninaya to share anything that she feels to share about how that experience felt for her, was for her.
Felt very, very grounding, calming, nourishing, and relaxing. And then I could feel myself expand, and all of a sudden sparks. I jolted myself, and I could feel it as if stress was leaving. Like stress that was held in the spine as it relaxed, it kind of sparked off.
Wonderful. So hopefully you were able to hear that. Ninaya was sharing how she could feel stress leaving her body, and I felt, and she felt these kind of sparks of energy, and she was feeling them, experiencing that as release of tension. Yeah. So for me, I'm so struck by how the more deeply I go into my body experience, the more I feel myself as energy. And having your warmth and presence, and I could feel that we were generating energy to expand. So yeah, I felt really supported and expanded by your presence.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I will ask a question, and that is, we know there's the beautiful resource of your book. Are there resources that you can guide us to in which you are teaching, either online or in your community or in workshops?
Yes, so thank you, Tia. My website, partneryoga.net, actually offers this practice that we just did, a very shortened version for free. So you can download a video for free of this practice. And then there's also a video series of, and I think a lot of the practices that we explored yesterday, and on the resource page on my website, and that's also very affordable. Series is, I think, $20. You can order the book or PDF of the book. And I obviously offer ongoing workshops and trainings. And as we spoke about on Friday night, so much of this practice can immediately be transposed into our life, when we feel this quality of connection with another, it just reminds us. It reminds us at a time when we really need reminding that we're the same and we all have the same needs. Watching the compassionate communication and the self-compassion segments being offered this week, I was struck by how this practice is really an embodiment of all our human needs that are communicated in the nonviolent communication work, as well as a way that we can really experience self-compassion. Because when we work with others, we experience a greater sense of ourselves, and most of us are more conditioned and naturally oriented towards giving compassion to the other. But this is a practice where they're simultaneous, and we really get to see that self-compassion is not only not selfish, but it's crucial to be able to support someone else, to have as our primary practice self-compassion, self-awareness. And then in terms of other offerings, I also wanted to mention that I just began a free of charge individual practice where occasionally I will throw in some partner work, but it's just a very creative flow of embodiment practices designed to creatively find new ways into experiencing the body with love and appreciation and kindness. Yeah, so I'm really inspired by that class as well.
Thank you so much. It's so helpful to know ways that we can continue to benefit from your wisdom and your practice and your guidance. In terms of the experience today, it was notable to me that the time went so quickly. And at first it seemed we're going to do one practice, and how could it be that it will fill this allotted time? And yet I marvel at how you opened us into the experience in such a way that time just fell away. And before I knew it, you were saying it's time to come back into conversation. So I know that's not really a question, it's more of a comment. And so many yoga offerings are try to do a lot of postures in 45 or 50 minutes. And could you just speak a little bit more about, from your experience, what it is to have recognized that the sacrum practice could be given the whole time period?
Yes, that is a phenomena that is pretty amazing in partner yoga. That happens all the time. I mean, I knew that we were going to have a time slot for this practice, and I just felt like we could have obviously sat longer in the silence, but I felt in this format that I wanted to include a few other kind of integration practices. But across the board, people's experience with partner yoga is that it goes really fast. And I'm not quite sure why that is the case. But I do appreciate the fact that there's something that happens to our nervous system when in connection with others that has a slowing down of time effect. I also work privately with people on Zoom in teaching partner yoga. It's not my favorite because I'd much rather work in live in person, but it can be done, and it's the same phenomena. 2 hours will just fly by, and afterwards, even yesterday, we did go through a series of postures, but Adam was mentioning at the end how quickly it went and how restored he felt. And he teaches a particular style of yoga that's more of a power style. And like you said, they're fitting in a lot of postures and a lot of intensity into a 50-minute or hour-long class. And there's a release that happens with that kind of practice, but it can also, especially over time, be depleting, where a partner yoga practice, although it's not a substitute for individual practice, we do need both. There's a nourishment that happens. Like we don't feel depleted, we don't feel exhausted, we feel the opposite. We feel energized because there is a broad range of experiences. And yesterday we did forward bend, backward bend, twist, shavasana. So is there anything you wanted to add about that, Ninaya, from your experience?
I do feel that also the interaction, like when I sit, if I just sit on my own, it's different than when I sit and I feel myself sitting with you. So I feel myself sitting with you, and then I feel you sitting with me. And I feel my breath going into your breath, and then I feel our breath. So there's a lot happening, and I think that takes up the time. It goes fast.
Yeah.
There's many layers.
And that what Ninaya just spoke to is a way that we stay very much more easily present, whether it be in a meditation or in more posture practice, because we can be on our mat, somebody guiding our practice, and be completely off somewhere else. Where in this practice, your partner's presence kind of insists that we be fully present. And that can be very helpful with a meditation. Like you said, there's the shared warmth and breath and connection, and just this desire to really be present with our partner. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll ask one more question, and that is, in my awareness, the ancient teachings about yoga and different teachings from different meditation traditions don't have drawings or descriptions of sitting sacrum to sacrum. I'm curious whether you had come across any reference in any tradition, or whether this was something you came into through your direct inquiry into your body.
Yeah, I honestly have never seen it either. There was one person I met in my life who was a Qigong teacher, and he did tell me that it was an advanced tantric practice in his tradition. And one of the things I've enjoyed in my life is studying different styles and different traditions, and I have never seen it. So it just seems to me that it is kind of an evolutionary practice for moving out of the individual sense of self and more into this shared experience that is so relevant to life on the planet right now. And yeah, it's pretty interesting phenomena, really, Tia, that this hasn't been taught.
And it feels so timely for this moment in history. So we are grateful to you for your bringing it forward to us so we can experience it and continue to discover what it offers. Thank you very much, Elysabeth.
Well, thank you, and thank you. And Tia, I just want to say again that I said this in our initial conversation, but I really honor and acknowledge you for all of your hard work and efforts in bringing this wide breadth of teachings to making them available and arranging these summits and doing so with such skill and yeah, attention to the amount of details. And yeah, I just really wanted to honor you for that. And it's just it's an exciting time to see science and these ancient teachings coming together, and just how available they are, which I guess has its pros and cons because we're kind of inundated with information, but I do acknowledge you for that. It's been such a blessing to be part of it, and I hope that whatever I brought is of service.
It really has enriched everyone's experience. I'm grateful to you and thank you for your kind expression of gratitude toward me. Lovely to work with you, and I look forward to what the future we're co-creating becomes.
Thank you.
Thank you.